Game 5 Mania. Plus, my question to go along with this is 877-881-1053. Are these late-night playoff start times weighing on you at all? But first, let's go to cut number 4, because I admit this play made me very nervous.
Petrangelo to Stone through center. Stevenson a step. Stevenson's in. Stopped by Oettinger. What a save by Oettinger. He kicked the right pad out.
I'm going to marry his right leg.
Man, doing the splits on a break, on a one-on-one, where the one-on-one break-off was really impressive. That was a hell of a
Was
stop.
that his right leg?
Wasn't it?
I thought it was left leg.
Oh.
I thought it was.
Great.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the one that slipped through. That was on the left leg.
You know, this is the save of the century. We're calling it.
Yeah.
And good job on you, Oettinger, doing your stretching before the game, because he had to really get that pad all the way down to get that. That shot had no lift on it at all.
So it wasn't just the spread; it was how down on the ice you got.
Go back and watch that highlight. His entire pad is flat across there, and hockey people might be like, "Hey, dumbasses! Like that happens all the time." No, man, he laid that down perfectly because, again, the puck was not rising by any means.
Yeah, it was. I feel like listening to hockey people that you try to go high on Oettinger in those situations because he's great low. So who shot it again? The highlight. I'm sorry.
It's a good question.
Vegas Maroon dude. You know, whatever his name
Vegas
is.
guy.
Stevenson or something.
Stevenson.
Is. I feel like he went against the scouting report in that situation, but I could be totally wrong.
Do you think that's because, like, I know it was a one-on-one, but it wasn't like a breakaway one-on-one.
Yeah.
He had just broke loose of the defender, like, half a second and maybe didn't have time to, like, go top shelf.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm obviously not a former hockey player, but it was an unbelievable save. And in that moment, you're like, we're going to overtime, or at least you're going to be tied and with a few minutes left to try to score, but Oettinger saved the day. And then also, I just thought early in the game, I'm like, man, Aiden Hillbilly, we're going to score 12 today. But
because it was, what was it? It
was 2-1 pretty quick.
Yeah, and it was within like 4 or 5 shots, I think, that we had scored really quickly.
It was very early in the game that I thought Butch Cassidy was sitting there going, that was a terrible decision, guys.
All right, let me ask you something then to go along with this. Did you get overly excited or then disappointed when the Stars didn't get either of their empty net goals? Because you had just almost seen the game get tied. Then, in the next minute and a half, you almost had 2 empty netters, including the puck that looked like it was going in slow motion as all the Golden Knights were skating down.
Did he bounce that off the wall, too? Like he gave that a wall shot? It looked like he was just
trying to poke it out, right?
Well, and most of them are, but they kind of they do it, like, expertly. You know, us, we just sit in a wall and be like, I don't know. But Jamie Ben's like, I think right here is about where the angle needs to be on it. It'll fall in there. Yeah, him and Hintz. That the Jamie Ben was the one where I was sitting there going, oh, please! And it didn't happen.
Jess goes, did something bad happen? I was like, no, we're okay.
Adrian was like, what is going on right now? You keep making so many noises. And I'm like, well, you know, this is an exciting time for them to get it in the net.
So the Stars have now, just the look on Mike's face, the Stars have now won 3 in a row. They have been excellent on the road. They definitely have won 3 in a row, and they have definitely been excellent on the road. Do you now view this as they got it? Or are you like, hey, they're in control, but they don't got it?
Yeah, I think that's listening to DeBoer this morning. As I was driving in, Sean and RJ were playing some audio from him, and he pointed out, he was like, you know, we didn't expect to lose the first 2 games like we lost them.
Yeah.
He actually, the way I was listening to him, he almost sounded like we've already got this thing wrapped up and we're ready to like move on from the series.
Oh, man.
He didn't say that, Kevin. He just had this like, you know, and now we've done this and everything's this and we get to go do this. And so, yeah, I think that they are in this mentality of we're closing this series out as quickly as possible. We don't want to let them have any, because the puck bounces a certain way and it's wrong for you.
Yeah.
The old Mighty Ducks theory, Kevin, a quarter of an inch and I would have made it a quarter of an inch the other way and it would have missed it completely.
You can look at yesterday's game as a great example of that.
Especially that one off the bar, too. And so, like, that's where I think the Stars team, Kevin, or Mike, I was just telling Kevin, it wasn't just the kids that showed up yesterday. The whole team did. Like, everybody showed up and did every step of their job. It was awesome. It was nice to see.
Man, and we were talking about this off air. I feel like Dodonov has heard all of the criticisms of his regular season. And he's
a Tolo.
Yeah, what's that?
I said he's a Tolo.
Mm-hmm. Did you know
Dadonov?
that? Yeah, Dadonov's a Tolo.
Yeah.
I've just assumed everybody was a Tolo, but that makes sense.
Every person that's come through here today has been a Tolo.
That's true. Do you root for him more in that instance?
Tolo, yeah.
Or are you just like, I'm just rooting for the Stars anyway?
Well, for sure. I will say we don't go to Stars training camp. I don't know if anybody does. But
golly,
I don't know. I've never heard of,
it's just the way you phrase it. It didn't sound like you honestly don't know it. It sounds like you're like, probably not.
We go to the Nard, and we go to spring training in Surprise.
Oxnard.
So we get to talk to players.
I've never called it the Nard.
In settings before the season starts. And when we have a good interview and the person is engaging and seems to care about us as people, then we care more about them.
Yes.
If we do an interview and it seems like the person was a Nimrod, then we're like, we're not really rooting. I don't care he plays for the Rangers or Cowboys or whatever. He doesn't seem to be a very nice guy. So it's not that you're rooting against him as in I want him to fail, but you feel like, man, I didn't have a connection with him at all. In fact, I had a negative connection with him, so I'm not really rooting for him. But he is on my team, so I hope my team does well.
Couple of things also. One, Duchesne gets his goal. Brian Ray hops on with us yesterday. He immediately texted me and was like, who got that goal? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, good job, man.
Did you respond, not Pavelski?
No, we'll get to that. The other thing, too, is like now I think this series, you've seen it, the Stars look a lot more comfortable passing the puck across the ice as opposed to earlier in the series. It looked like they were trying to keep things tight and just make sure they didn't lose the puck too much. But now they're really stretching the ice. They're pushing the puck up, and defensively they're working more in the neutral zone. They're doing a lot of work there.
Oh my God!
That I think is really paying off. Not allowing the Knights to get past them and closer to Otter.
You asked the question about how confident we are. You said confident.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
I'm confident too. But I'm going to ask you the question now, Kevin. You are playing the defending champs. I get they didn't have a great regular season, and they have a weird team in the playoffs because it's not really their regular season team. How much – I know this is Rudy T in basketball.
No,
but
I
how
think
much
this
do you
is
go,
the thing.
Don't underestimate the heart of a champion, and they are going back to Vegas, and I know you won both of them there, but they also won both here, and then you were able to defend your home ice in Game 5.
I think that's definitely a thing. There's a couple of things that have me confident. Is one of the things that DeBoer and at least one other Stars player were talking about is taking the Golden Knights' aggressiveness and using it against them. And that's one of the things that Cassidy said, like, hey, we might have got caught up a couple of times, like, I got to get that hit. And you got the hit, but it didn't necessarily work for you in the flow of the game. And I think the Stars...
Like when they punched Sagan in the nose and bloodied him up, and they said, I don't even know if that's a penalty.
Yes,
that was ridiculous.
I can't believe that. I went back and watched that like 4 times.
You can punch a dude in the nose, and they're like, you got to sit out for 2 minutes.
You're really not supposed to. And I can't believe that they're like, yeah, that's a minor.
The hit that Sagan put on, was it Stevenson again there? The one that when he lands, basically he hits the glass.
Oh, yeah. We thought maybe he did a dive.
Maybe his elbow hit him. The whole Knights team was up on him like that. And I was like, oh, wow, that's very quick. And I was waiting. When Sagan got punched in the nose, didn't it seem like it took an hour for any other Dallas Stars player to get over to him and be like, hey, dude, are you okay? Oh, crap, you're bleeding.
Well, that's a good point. That works against my idea for Game 6. But the other thing I was going to – and also I did not think that Sagan hit was that bad. You can call it homerism if you want. I think if you go back and watch it, it's not like his whole body or his head ran into the glass. Like, he got pushed into the glass, but I didn't think it was egregious at all.
I do think it took the Stars a little bit to get into the series. Like, you're starting to see them now being not necessarily matching the physicality, because I still think the Knights are the more physical team.
Sure.
But being physical along with the way the game is being played. And so I'm starting to see that a lot better, and it's not getting drawn off sides to do it. You know, it's one of those things where this is just part of what we do. Every time Heiskanen is up against somebody, he lays on them as he goes into the board, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Just wear them down throughout the entire series, and now you're starting to see that pay off for the Stars.
And that's why I like the Stars in Game 6. I'm not dismissing at all, Mike, what you're saying about you're the defending champions until you lose, but the series results are now reflecting who I think the better team is and who it looks like has skated better. I think it's looked like the Stars have skated better. Now they have the lead. I think they close it on Friday.
I don't think I'm going to have time to do this, but I'm going on the Rangers road trip, and I don't know the schedule. I know the Stars have home ice advantage. The Rangers play the Rockies next weekend.
Dude.
Thursday's a day off, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I'm like, is there a possibility that I could go into?
I think you're just going to miss it. I think they would maybe. It depends since Colorado's already wrapped up, if they wrap up on Friday, now I do think you've got a shot to catch one of those games. If it goes 7, I think you're just going to miss it. I think.
Should I get a suite for the Rangers?
Hell yeah.
And just be like, hey, let's play a day game here.
Yes.
I don't even know what the schedule is in Colorado.
Yeah, you get a suite for the Rangers.
Let's day game it up. Let's call the Rockies up and say, do you really want to play a night baseball game with a Avalanche night playoff game? Let's move this sucker to 1 p.m., and let's sweet it up, Texas Rangers, and let's go root on our Stars.
I like this idea. And then you can correspond with us.
Yeah.
He'll forget we exist the second he steps to that sweet door. Now,
you're like, this is so beautiful.
I'll text you.
Appreciate it, Mike. The other game last night, and I want to focus in on perhaps the most unbelievable play of the game. I know you're probably thinking, oh, this is that Kyrie behind the back drive, or this is a Luka play. No. I want to take you to cut 7. I thought this was the most unbelievable play of the game.
Tucker's in there again on Doncic. They'll double him with Westbrook. In the corner, Green 3, hit by Plumlee. It goes down. Plumlee the foul. Could be a 4-point play. Josh Green puts it in.
And it would be a 4-point play, but...
And he made the free throw.
He did. The Mavericks had led by 25. They were still comfortably ahead at 16, but you'd already seen the back-to-back Paul George threes close it down. I thought this was the most unbelievable play because those were the first points of the game by Josh Green, and some of his other shots did not look so good.
What was amazing is, I don't know, a minute or 2 minutes before, he had a wide-open 3 in the other corner, and he's like, this backboard's in the way. And just slammed it against the side of the backboard. And I was like, how the crap do you miss that bad? And then Plumlee pile drives you into the bench.
He did.
And you swish it on the next one. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
0 sense in shooting a basketball. That I get, you're going to miss some, you're going to make some. But when you miss by feet and then you throw the perfect swish in with a 7-footer pile driving you into the stands, I'm like, how in the world did this happen? But it happened.
That's why it was the most unbelievable play of the game. I don't know.
Like, I don't know why was Plumlee also like, Plumlee, did you forget the scouting report or not see 1 minute ago what Josh Green just did with
you don't need to go hard.
Shot?
It happened earlier too with Maxey. Maxey had hit like 2 or 3 in a row, and then he goes up there and hits the side of the backboard, and I was like, the hell just happened there?
Yeah.
It's weird to me because I guess maybe I'm just used to seeing other teams just in that corner 3 against the Mavs over and over and never doing that, but that was wild. These are NBA players, Kevin. That's supposed to happen in like a high school game.
Look, I get it, and I got nervous because Jason Kidd had said that Luka would probably need to be managed. And then, I don't know, maybe they were managing him. It looked like
to sit out the last 5 minutes.
Well, okay.
And the last 7 seconds of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Was there any part of you that thought, I realize the NBA could be crazy, maybe 2 or 3 minutes earlier they take him out? Or
Oh, no, I like that he kept him in until we're down to 5 minutes and we're up by approximately 30. Now it's the Hardy party.
Yes.
Dude, he almost scored 40 in 5 minutes.
He did score a lot.
I know we're going to do thank you letters here in a little bit. Derek Jones Jr. had a great game last night. He's
block party.
I don't know. You're paying him what, $1 billion? What?
$3 million.
That's it?
I don't know what. He's a free agent.
I'm loving everything that he's contributing right now, man. And you know what? That's part of what I say. The 3 keys to success for athletes. One of them is contract season is always a big deal, but what he's providing out there is fantastic.
Did they figure out, and maybe this is where we're out of time, but did they figure out the Hardy floater thing that they let him have 3 times in a row? Because then we were just blocking. Yeah. Oh, sorry to say Hardy.
Yes.
Harden. They were just blocking the crap out of that shot.
Yeah.
At one point, I think it was Derek Jones Jr., because at the time I was like, was that an unbelievable pass? Like, was that a Luka pass? And then they see the replay, and you just see it swatted, but it goes perfectly into the corner to like an open Clipper, but they just did a great job when Hardy got into the paint on really making it difficult after probably the first 6 minutes of the game, because there's a lot of Zubac and man, I was like, how the crap is this happening again?
We can go ahead.
Maybe, Kevin, it was they let him do it in the last game so they could see what he does when he's comfortable, and they're like, here's how we make him uncomfortable in the next one.
Let's lose game 4.
It's weird, but
you go back to those keys of the game that we talked about. Holy cow, they hit so many of them. Yes, they did score more points and stop more.
Easy
but
baskets.
I thought their defense was great. I thought above the rim they were dominating. And did you see Lively and Gafford 44 minutes? I thought Lively looked really good.
Because they had the lead. The key is after the first quarter.
Minutes apiece?
No, total.
Oh,
44 minutes
holy
total.
crap. I never saw them in the court together.
And Luka and others pushed the ball a little bit to try to get easy looks within the first 5 seconds of the possession. And did it work every time? It didn't work every time, but it worked enough. And then also, Brian Broaddus did text me. I have to get this in, and I agreed with him. When there was about, 8 minutes or 9 minutes left, and they're like, hey, Derek Jones Jr., you be the point guard and dribble up, and immediately it's stolen for a dunk. And it was like, let's never try this again. Either Kyrie or Luka dribbles the ball up the court, because then P.J. Washington did it earlier in the game, and he got ripped for an uncontested. And like, I get it, man. I love these role players. But let's not try to have them dribble the ball up the court.
Although that was a quarter of your turnovers. They only turned the ball over 8 times yesterday. We said maybe 11 if you can get to that spot, and they're like, that's still too high. Phenomenal effort from the Mavericks, and that second half was, and for us, that second half or about midway through the third quarter, it was just an ass kicking straight up.
I agree.
Well, good job by you guys by calling out the keys of the game.
I'm just talking about right now. We're doing great. I'm proud of us.
That is true.
Let's see. A lot of kids here.
What?
There are, because it's
weather day. Yeah, man, they're making weather happen in here.
I need to learn about it.
Hannah Winger?
Sounds all right to me.
I think that's her. She's out there doing some stuff
right now.
I
went down there and said, do you guys know what red rain is?
I would love to hear that on air.
What's the difference between red and green rain? And I put a microphone in front of a kid.
I bet one kid will be like, oh, come to me. I got the answer.